be discussing the investment prospects for convertible bonds. My guest is an expert in this asset class, Skander Chabbi. Good afternoon, Skander.
Good afternoon.
So you're not subscribing to the theory of the impending doom about to swallow us all up with the markets about to implode?
We would like to be a little bit more positive as we consider that we are offering global strategies, and therefore we are able to capitalize on different macro trends. So as much as there might be more doom and gloom in Europe, given the recent macro data and the rising tension across the European continent, there is a way to move away from this exposure and to rather play the US, where the macro prospects are more positive, or to play Asia, for example, if investors believe that the prospects there are positive because of the Bank of China's intervention. So there are different ways to play the different regions, and so you don't have to be positive across all of the regions to be involved in the convertible market.
And you mentioned Asia, which went quite cold in 2011 and 2012 in terms of convertibles. Just how important is this whole raft of Chinese high-tech issues in the US? How important is that to the revival of Asian convertibles in general?
It's one aspect of the revival, but more than that, there's been also a lot of local issuance out of Asia. So the trend in the US for these Chinese listed companies in New York to issue convertibles has been important, but has been mostly classified as US convertibles. So in Asia, we actually see a bit of issuance, either on the exchangeable side, but also coming from the tech area. There is a whole space of OEM companies that investors can play on the prospects of the new iPhone launches for the next few years. But there's also a sector, the real estate sector, which is interesting to play at this point as the market is anticipating further stimulus in the property sector. So the Asian market, after a tough period of 2 years, has now actually been the better performing market in the past 2 quarters of the convertible space. Although the market is smaller, of course, than the other regions, we are seeing more interest come into the region as well.
And what kind of signals should these investors be looking out for on the horizon before they downgrade any exposure to convertibles?
Well, first of all, if they believe that equities are going to perform better than any other asset class, it of course does not make sense to be invested in convertibles, unless again you want to have better risk reward in the sense of reducing your volatility in the portfolio. The other really important factor, I think, is looking at flows. Flows have become very important in the convertible market as well, and as we've seen strong inflows over the past 2.5 years, it's very important to keep an eye on what is going on in terms of developments in the flows and seeing if investors are adding or pulling money out of the asset class, because that can be a trigger in terms of valuations of the asset class.
Well, Skander, I'm hoping that you've managed to convert a few of our viewers to your way of thinking, and I look forward to catching up with you soon and hearing about your latest thinking on the makeup of these portfolios. Thank you very much.
Thank you.